Welcome to Miniatures.de, your military miniatures magazine. In this issue, we will equip Airfix 1:76 scale British Fusiliers with bayonets. British infantry routinely fought and fired with bayonets fixed, but Airfix made the standing and kneeling firing Fusiliers without bayonets, unfortunately. To fix this mistake, we will equip both Fusiliers with bayonets. The two parts to be soldered together will be supported by plasticine so that we have our hands free to use the soldering iron. The bayonet is a tiny sliver of plastic removed from the figure's base. Once the shank of the bayonet touches the right-hand side of the musket, we can begin to solder the two parts together. Tap the shank of the bayonet with the soldering iron repeatedly to melt the plastic and allow it to fuse with the musket underneath it. That done, solder the left side, top and bottom of the bayonet to the musket as well. It is sufficient to only lightly touch the bayonet with the soldering iron to make the plastic melt and fuse with the musket. The temperature of the soldering iron is set to 6 on a scale of 10. The resulting join is secure enough for our purposes in wargaming. The musket of this Fusilier is also damaged by a so-called short shot, where the molten plastic entered the mold cavity from both ends of the musket but didn't actually meet. This kind of damage can be soldered as well by picking up a tiny amount of molten plastic with the tip of the soldering iron and placing it into the cavity. Using many small motions of the soldering iron, the molten plastic is moved around in the cavity and fused with the musket on both sides of it. Finally, the blade of the bayonet needs to be shortened to 17 inches or 6 millimeters in the scale. For the next bayonet, remove a tiny sliver of plastic from the miniature's base. Cut it in half again. And place it on the next Fusilier for soldering. Once the shank of the bayonet is properly placed against the right side of the musket, begin tapping the shank with the soldering iron to melt the shank and fuse it with the musket underneath. If the parts did not fuse on the first attempt, place the bayonet on the musket again properly and solder the join once more. Now the left side, top and bottom edges of the bayonet are carefully soldered to the musket to create a very solid join. What's interesting to see here is that the bayonet is properly placed on the right side of the musket, as it should be. This bayonet now needs to be shortened to 6 millimeters as well. But a quick comparison with this American soldier already indicates that homemade bayonets can be even more realistic than the originals made by Airfix. Right, and this is what Airfix Fusiliers look like now that they've fixed bayonets. Thank you for watching. For more information, please visit our website at miniatures.de.